with God's help, we're finishing the Sikha of the Lubavitcher Rebbe in Likutei Sichas Tet Vav on Chayei. The first Sikha, the first speech the Rebbe gave on Chayei. That's this week's portion. And in it, the Rebbe explains what exactly a difference between a Jew and a non-Jew is. Very amazing. And he said that is the uniqueness of Sorah. That Sorah was the first to really emphasize and bring out into the world that the Jews are totally different than the non-Jews. Totally different than the non-Jews. And we talked about this before. The non-Jews are good. They're the creations of God. God creates them. He cares for them. He gives them life. They're important to Him. But the job of the non-Jew is to make the world into a settled place, to make the world into a livable place, or in our case, to make the world a vessel for the blessing of the Jews. And the job of the Jews is to make the world a holy place. Not just to be good and to be meaningful, which is very important, to be healthy and to be orderly. This is very, very essential. That's the way it's supposed to be, with no disease and no war, no famine. But that's more the job of the non-Jews, is to perfect the world physically, materially, socially. So the job of the Jew, even spiritually, the job of the Jews is to affect the world godly, in a godly way. Spiritual means that non-Jews believe in God. It's a good thing. According to the law, a non-Jew, he can believe in God together with the sun, together with the moon. Otherwise, he can worship God through the moon, through the sun. The God that created the sun, I am worshiping you, the sun. And they're not supposed to do it, but if they do it, it's not punishable. But that's okay. At least they're spiritual people. At least they're people that realize that there's something above them. And say also to make war, family should be of utmost importance. That's the idea of the 7 Noahide commandments. Almost all the 7 Noahide commandments are just to make an orderly world. Right? The people should believe that there is God. People shouldn't speak badly about God. People should honor the family. They should have children. Homosexuality is forbidden. Stealing somebody else's wife is forbidden. Take somebody else's wife. No one knows who her children are. It could be a man will end up marrying his own daughter. He doesn't know. Everything just becomes a total chaos. You're not allowed to steal. All these things are logical to make the world an orderly place. But a non-Jew is supposed to do it because God wants, even though sometimes it becomes sort of not logical, and the person's a mafia boss or something, and the most natural thing is to, you knock off your enemies. But God says you're not supposed to kill. So He says, I'm not killing. I'm not stealing. I'm not going to do it. I'm not lying. I'm not allowed to do things like this. Why? Because God wants, even though my whole nature says it. That's the job of a non-Jew, to make the world orderly, to make the world peaceful. But the job of the Jews is to make the world holy. And when the Jews really succeed in making the world holy, then it'll be a whole total different level of peace and prosperity and health will be revealed in the world. That's called being blessed. The job of the Jews is to bring a blessing on the world. Therefore, says the Rebbe, that who was the one who began this? Sorah. Abraham wanted that Yishmael would be his progenitor. That's what we call progenitor. Progenitor is the offspring, right? Offspring is progenitor. It should be his, I don't know if that's the word. Anyway, it should be his legacy. They should carry on Judaism. Yishmael, his father was Abraham. And Sorah was the one that said, no, we're going to make a division here. It's not going to be so. So it says, that's why this portion is called, this Torah reading is called Chayei Sorah, even though the whole thing happens after she died. The first begins with, you can see her effect. How can you really tell if a person is really alive? after they're physically dead, does their effect carry on? Then you can see if they're really alive. It says that's the life of Sarah, was after she passed away. Let's see what her effect is. First of all, Abraham went and he bought the land, this cave of Machpelah, to bury her. Who was buried there? Adam, to show that the only one who really has a true connection with Adam, the one who's carrying out the responsibility and the job that Adam, the first man, was given, only the Jews, to make the world a holy place. Therefore, Abraham said, I'm going to buy this land from Ephron Achiti. On the other hand, Ephron Achiti said, I'll sell you the land. I'm willing to sell it. But Abraham said, it's a good thing you said that, because if you didn't say you were willing to sell it, I would have taken it from you because it's mine. I am a citizen here. And the Rebbe says, what does it mean Abraham is a citizen? He wasn't a citizen. He didn't live there. And Abraham himself said, I'm just an immigrant. Ger v'toshavano. I'm just an immigrant here. He himself said he was an immigrant. What is he saying? He says the answer is because if a non-Jew does not want to comply with what the Jews want, a holy way, of course, we're talking about a holy way, not the Jews want the Jews want to do sins, they want to worship idols. We're not talking about that. We're talking about if the non-Jew is willing to do his job and make the world a fitting place for the blessings of the Jews, that the Jews can bring blessing in the world, then that non-Jew has a connection with Adam. He's got a right to be here. He's got a connection with God. Then he is here first, and Adam said, I'll buy it. And Abraham said, I'll buy it from you. But if a non-Jew does not want to help the Jews, then fact of the matter is he's got no right to be living here. He's got no connection to Adam. Therefore, Abraham said, if you don't want to help me, then I'm here before you. I've been here for 4 minutes. That's 4 minutes longer than you. You were never even here. Your existence is a non-existence. That's what Abraham said. Therefore, says the Rebbe, we can understand what this weird law, that if a non-Jew transgresses one of the 7 Noahide commandments, the official punishment is death. Why such a severe punishment? The person stole a penny. Punishment is death. Like I said, I never heard that this punishment was actually carried out. We're on page 164. Yeah. No. Yeah. 164. That's the reason. As soon as a non-Jew does not want to do the 7 commandments, then therefore he has not only lost his connection with the Jews, he's lost connection with Adam, he's lost his connection with the Creator, he has no right to really be here, and therefore the punishment. Severe punishment. Then after that, there is the story of Abraham sending Eliezer, his servant, to find a wife, a bride. So Eliezer suggests, even though it's not written, but in the Midrash, Eliezer suggests, listen, why should I go over there? I have a daughter. He can marry my daughter. And now Eliezer was very brave. He was very intelligent. He was very loyal. And Abraham said, I can't do it. Why can't I do it? Because you're not blessed. You're not holy. The Jewish people are holy. Where did he learn this from? From Sarah. This was after the death of Sarah. He sent to get him. So therefore, that's another effect of Sarah in the world, that Abraham declared that Eliezer is wonderful and as talented and as honest and as good a person as he was. He still could not get married to a Jew. He wasn't a Jew. A Jew has a whole different level. A Jew has a whole different responsibility. The Jews are responsible for all mankind, to bring a blessing to all mankind, and the non-Jews are not, and therefore you can't mix them. All right, let's just do Yud Aleph and Yud Beis. Gam and Yud, also this. Sheha lo Yishel lo Yehudi, he bishvil Yisrael. Everything that the non-Jews, also this aspect of the non-Jews, that Eliezer is not holy, And even Yishmael, it says, has lost his connection with Abraham. Yishmael was just called Ben Amma. He was called the son of the maidservant of Hagar in the Torah. It says this also, Shemetziuto shel lo Yehudi hi b'shvil Yisrael, that the whole existence of the non-Jews is for the sake of the Jews, in other words, to help the Jews serve God. Kashur davka lavodah Sorah. This is connected to Sorah. The Rebbe is trying to point out that this week's portion is called the life of Sorah, even though the whole thing happens after the death of Sorah, because to show the influence, the eternal influence that Sorah had even after she was departed from the world. This that she made that declared that the Jews are totally different than the non-Jews, and the Jews have a job to make the world holy. This was the job, this was the work of Sorah. Lochen, he and Akura Ikarit, the Parshat Chayei Sorah. This is the main theme of this week's Torah reading, that the Jews are totally different than the non-Jews. The Jews' purpose is to bring holiness and blessing into the world. Ne'amar b'Torah, therefore it says in the Torah, Shashem Avram hu al Shem Avamon Goyim Taticha, that the name that Abraham got when he circumcised himself was because of Avraham Av Hamon Goyim, the father of many nations I have made you. In other words, Mitzad Hashpata Ba'olam, because of this influence that Abraham had in the world, Av, Yesh Lo Kesher, therefore he has a connection, Gam also to the Hamon Goyim, to the nations and the multitude of nations. If so, we see that Abraham was not totally separate from the nations. Misibazu ein murgash le'umot, the umot she'en lehem kiyum latzmam. You can't really feel from this, from Abraham, that the non-Jews don't have really any true existence on their own. Abraham has a job that he has to influence and to bless the non-Jews. If so, it seems that the non-Jews are a separate, really autonomous entity in the world. And therefore, if the non-Jews don't do what they're supposed to, they just did a few sins, but they can always, fix it up. The fact of the matter is, no, that if a non-Jew does a sin, technically he has lost his right to existence. L'umat zot Sorah, which is not the case Sorah. Milashon Sorara. Sorah is not mixed in with the non-Jews. She is a leader. Like it says, Sorah al-Kal, she ruled over everything. Abraham was not a ruler. Abraham was mixed in with the non-Jews. He was the father of all the non-Jews. Means he had a connection with them. Sorah is a ruler. A ruler means he's got no connection, like a king. Because the aspect of Sorah, when the non-Jews feel that aspect in the Jewish people, that the Jewish people, they rule and control their whole existence. Not just that the non-Jews are good people and Abraham wanted to make them better, but that the non-Jews are creations of God every single second brand new, and their whole entire existence depends on the Jews. Lochen hem mishartim l'Sorah v'yorshel l'Yisrael. And therefore, the non-Jews will be helpers. If you want to call it servants, I don't know if servants is the right word, but in any case, there will be assistants, to the Jewish people. This all came from Sorah, because the name Sorah means rulership. And this made it that the non-Jews, they would be able to assist us, because we technically are their leaders. What does it mean we're their leaders? We tell them what type of car to buy, to shine our shoes, right, to build me a house? No. The Jewish people are the leaders because in the days of the Mashiach, the only interest of the world will be God. The non-Jews will be only interested in God. Like now, people are interested in themselves. There's hundreds and hundreds of methods and classes and books written on self-improvement and self-aggrandizement and self-expression and self-realization and self. The whole thing is self, right? How to succeed, how to be greater, how to be bigger, how to be more successful, how to have more pleasure, how to be younger, how to be happier, how to be funnier, how to be more intelligent, just me, I. Right? Okay, it's not bad, but the point is good, what's the goal? What's the goal? Like a person, he shines up his guitar, buys the best guitar he can buy, shines it up, and okay, what's the point? Right? The point is supposed to play it. Supposed to do something with it. A non-Jew improves himself, he shines himself, makes him big, takes a class, he's not afraid of anybody, he's the bravest in the world, and he's assertive, and he's this and that. Okay, but why? What do you mean why? That's it, to make myself big. This is not. The Jews are here to tell you that you're true, you should improve yourself, but there's a reason for it. The reason is in order to serve the Creator. That's Sora's job. She's the ruler. Yud Beis. Shleim os Chayei Sora. The ultimate completion of the life of Sora is when, only after she died. Lichiora nitan adayin lishol. But still, we can still ask a question. True. What it says in the Parshat, this week's Torah reading, talks about the greatness of and the lasting effect of Sora. But, nevertheless, nevertheless, it's talking about after she died. Therefore, it should not be called, the Parsha should still not be called Chayei Sora, the life of Sora. The Kaf Chuv Zayin Shanim, namely the 127 years that Sora was in this physical world. The Torah portion should be called the effect of Sora, the results of Sora, the memory of Sora, the blessing of Sora, something else, but not the life of Sora. This is not when she was alive. Right? The whole entire Torah portion does not talk about when Sora was alive. It's not even a eulogy. She was so great. She built and she did and she helped and she ran and she knitted for other people and she healed other people and she drew water for them. All these wonderful things that should have said. It doesn't. It doesn't talk about anything she did in her life. If so, why is this portion, the Torah portion, called the life of Sora, Chayei Sora? Or just call it Sora. The explanation is like this. The main aspects of this week's portion, okay, Herschel, so that happened after she died. Paula Sora ba'avodata be'kaf chav zayin shana. Sora accomplished in the 127 years Chayei that she was alive in this world. Sheyurgash be'olam shekol kiyamo b'shvil Yisrael. That everyone should feel that 127 years that Sora was alive, her whole devotion was only to one thing that no one else was really devoted to, namely, the whole existence of the world exists. It depends totally on the Jewish people. Ella. But when she was bringing this about, when she was working on this, that everyone in the world would know that the whole world exists for the Jewish people, this is what she was occupied in the 127 years of her life. But the time when she was occupied in this, it was concealed. The dav kalachar petirasa, only after she died, it became revealed. I'll give you an example. Someone has grandpa is sick. Grandpa is sick, and he goes in for an operation. And the whole family is all worried. They have this expert doctor, surgeon. And the surgeon says, goes in, the operation is like 6 hours long. And he comes out and the doctor says the operation was a success. That he's going to live. I said, wonderful, can we see him? No, you can't see him. Oh, 1 minute, why can't we see him? He said it was a success. Can't see him. I think it wasn't a success. I think he just wants his money. I think he's dead. I think Grandpa's dead. He says, you really want to see him? He says, okay, but just be quiet. You have to see him behind this window. Look and see, and there he is, totally unconscious, laying on a table. He's being artificial respiration, and there's all the things around him, beep, 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 beep. And he's breathing, and he's totally out of it, right? They say, Grandpa, ah! They say, I told you to be quiet. The fact is, it was a success. Okay? If you want to, don't pay me. Pay me after he comes to be Israel. The doctor leaves. No. They wait a week, they wait 2 weeks, they wait 3 weeks. After 4 weeks, he opens one eye. After another few days, he opens up another eye. After a little while, he says, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. In other words, when do you see the result of it after the operation? The same thing. Sora, her whole life was just to work and to bring about the awareness that this whole world exists for the sake of the Jewish people. For two reasons. Number one, to let the Jews know that they have a tremendous responsibility. They can't just pretend like they're everybody else. And number two, to tell the non-Jews to help the Jews to do this. To help the Jews do this. But when was this visible? When could you see the results of it? Only after she finished the operation. When did she finish the operation? After she passed away. Therefore, this week's portion is called the life of Sarah because it shows what she was doing in her whole life. What was she really occupied in her whole life? Harisi shlemus ba'avodazu kasheri bo begiloi. When does this service that she's doing to make the world a revealed place, to make God revealed in the world, that everyone will know that it all depends on the Jews? When can you see the value of this amazing work? When it's revealed. Kafisha dubar pam barachava, like we explained, in long length. Ala schar v'agilei b'olam haba, and the reward that will be in the world to come. She'en ze inyan tzaddi nifrad, ela sheshlemus b'kiyam hamitzvos b'olam hazeh hi al yedei hashpa b'giloi b'olam haba. Here's the example. When does a person really see the results of his work that he does in this world? Torah and mitzvahs, after he dies. After a person dies, then he goes to heaven. He sees a little bit of a ray of at least something of what he did. When he's in this world, he puts on tefillin. It's not much different than putting on your shoes, right? There's no mitzvah to put on your shoes. When you put on tefillin, but you put on your shoes, you feel something, right? You go on the street without your shoes, you really feel right bad. If you forget one day to put on tefillin, you don't feel it so much. Maybe your conscience bothers you or something like that. It says, really, you have no idea what you're doing when you put on tefillin. After a person passes away, then he has an idea. Lefichach, move, and now we can understand. Shenyani Parsha, the same things with Sora. When is it really understood what she really accomplished? After she passed away. Therefore, this week's Parsha is called the life of Sora, because this is the result, the completion, and the revelation of all the work she did in the 127 years that she was alive. It's the cartoon before the main feature. Kol inyan b'Torah hu yirah. Everything there is in the Torah teaches us something. That's the word Torah means, a teaching. The Torah is not just a religious book. The Torah is not just a history book. The Torah is not just a book of our heritage. The Torah is telling us it's a workbook, telling us what to do right now. Okay. B'tchilas haparsha b'sofa yesh hora pshuta. In the beginning of this week's portion and the end, there is a simple teaching. The Ameinu Elu for the present time. Kasher Toni b'nei Ishmael. When the Arabs claim Shamarat HaMachpelah Shayechet Lahem, that the Marat HaMachpelah, the burial place of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, belongs to them. Mipanei Shehem b'nei Avram, they say, we are the sons of Abraham. Yesh b'Parshat HaShavua Barura, it says in this week's Torah portion clearly, B'nosav lakach Shemotza Asam Shel Arov Machriya Shel Aravim Shem Bedinas Hashchenos L'Eretz Yisrael. In addition to the fact that the majority of the Arabs that are here in the world today, around Israel and in Israel, have no connection to Yishmael. Why do they have no connection to Yishmael? Yishmael was the son of all the Arabs came from him, right? Wrong.
They seem like they're from Esau.
Why is the reason why? Because it says that in the second temple, it's also a Mishnah. In the middle of the second temple, in the middle of the first temple, not in the middle, like 100 years before the end of the first temple, there came along, what's his name? Nebuchadnezzar, Shalmansar, I forget there's another name. Anyway, he conquered the 10 tribes. Right? And in fact, he conquered the whole world. Sennacherib came and he conquered the whole world. And he was a very clever person. What he did was, he knew that as long as people are in their country, even if they're conquered, but they have a loyalty to their country. So if you can get the people off their own land, even though they might stay all together, but they lose their loyalty to the land. They aren't as loyal. Maybe they remain loyal to their to their race, to their nationality, but not to the land itself. Right? Usually, after a few, so that's what Sennacherib did. He took Bilbul at Olam. He took every single nation and he moved them off their land. He conquered the whole world. So he told everybody, you want to die? No. Okay, I'm just going to resettle you. So he put the Arabs in France, he put the French in England, he put the England this. And as a result, what happened is all the people that used to be Arabs are no longer were living in the Arab countries. When did Sennacherib do this? About 2,500 years ago. It's a long time, 2,500 years. Right? There's a lot of intermarrying, a lot of confusion, and also the climate also changes a person, how he looks, how he speaks. Right? The children of immigrants, they don't have accents anymore. They speak like the regular people. They look like everybody else. It's very hard to tell the difference a lot of times between these people. So that's what he did. He moved everyone around. So therefore, anyone who claims now that they are a relative of Yishmael, they 99.99% chance is they don't know what they're talking about. They have no connection whatsoever to Ishmael. It could be they have more connection to, I don't know, William the Conqueror or somebody. No connection to Ishmael. Okay. Hari. Shagam.
Well, the Muslims claim the adherence to Islam based upon bloodline, like.
They say that they're the direct relatives of Abraham somehow or other. The Quran has also that Abraham did not take Isaac to sacrifice him; he took Ishmael to sacrifice him, and they have the what is it, Eid Korban or whatever it's called. They have their holidays based on this. But even if you want to say that that's true, which of course is the most ridiculous.
Well, they say that actually in the earlier
Qurans,
that it doesn't say. It makes it sort of like anonymous.
Doesn't make any difference what it
now
says.
Today they all say that.
Even if they found the original first Quran came direct from the source, what was the source? The original Quran? It came from Muhammad, who Muhammad was a bit of a nut. The fact is, the Rambam says, a Meshuga hazeh. He was a Meshuga, and he had a scribe. He couldn't even write himself. He had a scribe that he wrote this down, and he made up all this weird combinations from the Torah. They say, "Ooh, this is the ultimate masterpiece of intelligence and greatness." I mean, Bob Dylan could have written something better for sure. There's no doubt about it. But the whole thing is just total, not understandable. Just wisdom. But one of the things that he has over there is that, at least that's what they believe. I read the book. Fact of the matter is, I read the book. I even read the Quran. I read it, if I'm not mistaken, even twice. A lot of it didn't stick with me. I wrote down all the places where it contradicted what it says in the Torah, all the places it says to kill all infidels. And I have a whole list of things that I wrote. In any case, even if you do say that Abraham took Yishmael to sacrifice him and not Yitzchak, which is total insanity, forget about that. The total insanity. No, that they say that's in the Jewish Bible. That's the Jewish Bible.
No, at Machpelah. How do you explain that Yaakov's there?
Oh, I don't know. They probably have some. It doesn't make any difference what they say. Let's say it's 100% true, and we have videos of Abraham taking Yishmael up to this. But the fact is, the Arabs that exist today do not have any connection to Ishmael. They're not the same. There's no connection whatsoever. Okay. Here, Ishmael. Hari, Shagam, Yishmael, Atzmo, even himself, Yishmael himself had no connection to Marat HaMachpelah. Right? And incredible. The Arabs today, they rule over the Marat HaMachpelah. Right? You can't pray when you want to, and they close it when they want to. Kevin She'avram kana oto, because Abraham bought it to bury his wife. Yishmael eneno Yoresh Avram. Yishmael did not inherit Abraham. It says, Lo Yoresh et Amaza. Sarah said that Hagar will not have any inheritance in the portion of Abraham. Not Hagar or her son, Yishmael. Ubavarai lo shel Sarah. Certainly she has got no portion in what Abraham did, and certainly nothing to do with Sarah. Umuva nefo, so therefore we can understand. She sheichas rak libana shel Sarah Yitzchak. Therefore, the Marat HaMachpelah is relevant only to the unique son, the only son of Sarah, who's called Yitzchak. Ulazera Yitzchak, lo kol Yitzchak, rak liYaakov. And as far as Yitzchak, because it says, Ki bi Yitzchak yikarei lechazara. It's in this week's portion also. Only part of Yitzchak, namely Yaakov, came out. Okay, so that's one thing we can learn is that Marat HaMachpelah for sure only belongs to the Jews. Davar Nosaf, the Rebbe brought up once, also in a sikha, that the three places that it says clearly in the Torah that we bought, those are the places that Medinat Yisrael, the, what is it called, the state of Israel, is given to the Arabs. Shechem, we bought, says Mea Kasita, we bought Shechem. The Arabs live there. You go into Shechem, you can go in, no problem. You'll never go out though. You'll never go out. It's right next to where my daughter lives. Shechem, it's a hotbed of murderers, the whole place. Man, you know, that was bought, it was bought by that Yaakov bought it. Yerushalayim, King David brought it. Half of Yerushalayim, a Jew can't live there. I don't know if a Jew, I think it was at least half there, the whole eastern side, whatever it is. A Jew can't buy land over there. Maybe you can if you make all sorts of tricks or something, who knows. The Temple Mountain is in the hands of the Arabs. And the other place is Hebron, like it says here. Hebron, Kiryat Arba. It's filled with Arabs over there. Right? There's one little section that the Jews, Bibi Netanyahu gave it away to them. He gave them away them more even. But Tekufat Yishmael Nasa Pera, here's an additional thing. Yishmael became a wild man. Pera Adam. Ubo b'tainot v'taviot para'oyot. Yishmael, just like it was back then, now comes with these wild claims. Al Yehudim lachshosh mimenu, that the Jews have to be afraid of us. Ulihit ragesh mikach, and the Jews have to be, influenced. You know how many Arabs there are in the world? We got you guys outnumbered 1,000 to 1. Tzorich rak lazkirlo, you should tell the Arabs at them the truth. Shemitziuto asher yolda Hagar mitzrit, that even if you are really Ishmaeli, then your whole existence only comes from the handmaid of Sora. When you want to say you're something big and special, you should say, what are you talking about? You're just the daughter of a servant. You're our servant. You want to think that you're something bigger? It says, Al penei kol echav nofel. Then you're going to be destroyed. Oh, you'll be destroyed. You're going to fall on the face of the whole entire world. That's what there's people, and there's this fellow Avar Gel, that he's a big expert in, how what's going on in the world is showing on how Mashiach is coming closer and always arriving, and things like this. But there's millions and millions of Arabs around us. I don't know how many there are. How many Arabs are there around? 100 million, something like that. 200 million, something. Yeah. Anyway, the ones that are immediately around us that are threatening us. I'm not talking about Arabs in Indonesia or something like that. that are all immediately around us, and they're threatening us. And then in the United Nations, everybody's threatening us. Everybody's threatening us. And what does this Israel say? Listen, we didn't do anything. We're nice guys. Give us a break. Come on, we went through the Holocaust. You have to be friendly to us. We're just defending ourselves. And the Rebbe says, what are you talking about? What are you telling them that for? What are you saying that for? Be nice to us. Say, listen, God gave us the land. I don't know what you're talking about. You have problems, go to God. Don't come to me. God gave us the land. He gave it to Abraham. Abraham owns Eretz Israel. He promised it. Even if there's no Jew that ever lived in the land of Israel, ever, from the time of Abraham until right now, no Jew ever lived here. There's no Balfour Declaration, no nothing, right? It's still ours. God gave it to us. It says in the Bible. What are you talking about? That's what somebody has to stand up and say. What about Ishmael? What about all the Arabs? They're the ones that are making the big problems. You say, what are you talking about? You, at best, you're just the daughter, you're just the son of a maidservant. תזכור את הדור, כשאתה הולך. בסדר, לא, תחפש, אבל אחרי כשאתה הולך. בסדר, מה מחפשים?
קידושים.
אולי כאן, אולי. טוב, היו הרבה שם. כאן אולי למעלה יכול להיות.
לא, למעלה אין.
לא? בתורה שבכתב מאמינים, תחפש, אין בעיה. בתורה שבכתב מאמינים גם lo Yehudim. In the Bible, the non-Jews also believe. Lochen, therefore, kasher yadavar barur, as soon as it's very clear, kafish tzorach liot, as it should be, to the Jews, then the Jews can explain to the non-Jews in a proper way. But belashon, in a nice way, kind way, but in a language barur of a galuya, that's clear and revealed. אם תחכה רק 6 דקות, אני עוזר לך, אולי זה שם. אני רוצה לגמור את השיעור. but, בלשון, תוכן ותוכן, ברור גלויה. You have to tell them clearly and revealed, ולא ירגישו נחיתות, you should not feel any inferiority, God forbid, כלפי אומות העולם, by the non-Jews. על אחת כמה וכמה כלפי אלו, שמחשיבים את עצמם כבני ישמעאל. How much more so, you shouldn't feel inferior to those who consider themselves to be the offspring of Ishmael. Number one, they aren't the offspring of Ishmael. And number two, even if they are, right, which that would be a little bit of a claim that they would have. It says the best they can do is that they're the sons of a maidservant of Sora. So that whole claim is also out the window. Azai then yafsiku l'chotz al Yehudim. If the Jews really are clear about what it says in the Torah, and the Torah is God's, then, and God is creating them, then they'll stop putting pressure on the Jews. Because then they will feel, and especially by means of mazlechazi, then their souls will feel, that it is to their benefit, shemarat machpelah, that the place, the burial place of the Avos, Marat machpelah, Hebron, and all of Yisrael, and all of its boundaries will be completely in a revealed way, even in the time of exile, in front of everyone. Bereshutam shel Yehudim, they will belong totally and only to the Jews. It is to the benefit and the blessing of the non-Jews, because they were created, the Jews were created to bring blessing to the whole world, make the world holy, and the non-Jews were created to be our assistants and to help us to do that. As long as they do it, then the world will be a better place. If they don't, then it's not going to be good for them also, which we can see that it's not. We can see that it's not. You look what they're doing in Syria. They're killing each other, massacring each other, the Sunnis and the Shiites and the Wahhabis and all these different groups. They hate each other. They're massacring each other. They can't get, the only thing they can agree on is they all hate the Jews. And even that they're stopping agreeing on, right, luckily. Right? Saudi Arabia doesn't hate us so much, and Egypt is not so, right? At least they can hold off hating us for a while. Right? And ISIS is going to kill everybody, and these guys in the ISIS there, I think they're Shiites, I think, or they're some things, and they're going to kill everybody in Syria, and Syrians are going to kill everybody in Iraq, and Iraq is going to kill everybody in. But when it comes to Israel, all of them agree we got to kill the Israelis, right? And the only problem is that the Israelis Agree with them. Listen, we agree. You've got we're taking the land from you, but come on, we deserve a little bit. I mean, we suffered in the Holocaust and the Holocaust and the Holocaust. We please have mercy, and also the English and America likes us. And so here's the Rebbe saying, my friends,
You're arguing the wrong thing.
you're arguing in the wrong direction. You're not supposed to be dependent on the non-Jews. Balfour says it belongs to me. The white papers say it belongs to me. America says it's mine. The United Nations passed an agreement that says it's mine. Oh, Obama was against the agreement. What a Russia is against the agreement of the United Nations. Well, forget about the United Nations. Forget about all these things. You're connected to God. God is the creator of the universe, and He's the creator of all the non-Jews also. And He's creating them because He likes them. At least potentially. But they're being created in any case. So if the Jews just come and say that, first of all, they've got no competition because nobody else is saying it. And number two, it's the truth.
As long as they have a blackout on the news from the Upper West Side, they can get up and they can say, the Torah says so.
Let the news say whatever they want. The nations will scream. It says that's how the Psalms. It says, why do the non-Jews yell and scream and right, on God and on his anointed? It says God will laugh at them, will scoff at them. If the Jews would only believe in Hashem. But believing in Hashem is a little bit nervous. I agree. It's much better if you have like a big airplane with rockets on it and say, oh, this baby, this is going to save me. Instead of saying, God is going to save me. Where is He? He's been protecting us for the last 4,000 years. He's here. The Arabs just finished shooting 500 missiles at us, and we say, but the Iron Dome intercepted 100. But what about the other 400? You should know that like 5 years ago, it was even worse. They shot like 5,000 missiles, 4,500 missiles they shot at us.
I remember seeing pictures of Scud missiles.
That
in the streets.
was Scud missiles. That was different. There's this 4,500 missiles, and the Israeli government, it was just incredible. They said, yes, but the Iron Dome intercepted 700 of them. 700 missiles they intercepted. That's what saved us. So 1 second, let's make a calculation. 4,500 minus 700, that means 3,800 missiles. Who stopped them? They shot in the wrong direction. They didn't know how to drive. They didn't put any fuel in it. There was no electricity. They took out the plug. There was that. Okay, let's say that you're right, that was 3,000 missiles were misdirected, but there was 800 of them. How do you explain 800? Yeah, well, let's talk about something else. We see the amazing miracles that God, it's a miracle that we can even breathe, because the love of God is so thick here. And the Jews in Israel do everything they can to try to pretend there's no God. They have the LGBT parades in Israel. I mean, this is totally against even human, normal, common sense. There's all sorts of weird diseases, and these people aren't going to have any children. It's against the family. It's against society. It feels good. It feels good. That's the essence of the Bible. Whatever feels good, you can do. Where did you see this? What society, normal society, is built on this? We'll do it. No, you want to do it good, but the government encourages it. The Israeli government encourages it. The Israeli government encourages, they give land to the Arabs. They give the Arabs legitimacy. They give them weapons. That's encouraging murder. Right? Encouraging murder. They let these missionaries wander around all over Israel. They can do whatever they want to. That's encouraging idolatry. It's encouraging idolatry. Those are the three things a Jew is supposed to give his life for, not to do, rather than do. And the Israeli government is encouraging it. Incredible. Right? It's incredible. Gili Arayas, these big weird parades, Shvichas Damim, giving things to the Arabs, and Avodah Zorah, all these idolaters and Scientology and all this crazy stuff. The Israeli government encourages it. Amazing. That's not to talk about that they encourage the reform, they encourage the who was a Jew. The whole identity of what a Jew is all confused. Says the Rebbe, don't worry about it. It's going to be revealed. It's inside of every Jew. Every Jew wants it. And even the Goyim want it. Maybe they'll force us. But that's the idea. Sora, Chayei Sora. Sora was the one who stood up bravely and asserted in this world the purpose of the Jews, the uniqueness of the Jews, the difference between the Jews and the non-Jews. Our job is to make this world holy. And the job of the Jews is to make the world orderly so that we can bless everyone. That's our job. And because of that, the Marat HaMachpelah belongs only to us. And only we are truly connected to Adam. If the non-Jews want to be connected to us, they're connected to Adam also. As we'll talk about more, God willing, tomorrow. You ever